You're listening to the WTIM Morning Show here on your information station and brought to you by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first and Landmark of Taylorville. I'm your host, Grayson Bauman. Joining us in this segment, I've got Devin Wright. He's with sales with Wright's Furniture at their Dietrich location. Devin, thank you first and foremost for joining us here today. And how are you, sir?
I'm good, Grayson. I appreciate the time.
Absolutely. And I'm glad to have you here to talk a little bit about Wright's Furniture. And let's start a little bit with your background. Obviously, the last name gives you away just a touch. But if you could kind of tell us your maybe connection with your family and how that kind of structurally looks a little bit, and also just what it took to get to this spot right now.
Sure. So I am the fifth generation of the Wrights that would be part of the family business here, joining my cousin Alex, who's the vice president of the company currently, and my sister Taylor, who is a manager of our Effingham location. Joined the family business back when I was about 14, starting in the warehouse. And then as time kind of progressed through, went off and did my own thing. And then finally this last year, became a father myself, which kind of drove me back into the family company, starting back this March of 25 here. So
congratulations.
Thank you.
That's a big deal for you, but also kind of spurred this next decision for you.
Absolutely.
So some things coming together at the right time for you. Started at 14. We're fifth generation. Alex and Taylor also a member of that fifth generation. So for you, you mentioned there, I kind of went off and did my own thing. But I would like for you to explain to folks that it wasn't like I went off and I was working on the radio, or anything like that. I was still, kind of preparing myself maybe for this opportunity to arise.
Sure. Yeah. So I went off and I worked into the manufacturer and distribution side of the flooring business. So selling and flooring to all sorts of different retailers across 2 states really gave me some insight as to how that side of the business operated, with hopes, obviously, to bring some experience back and some just insight to that end of the business and kind of how to improve our operations at Wright's Furniture.
And would you say it did as much for you?
Absolutely. Yeah. Just getting that experience of seeing kind of the inner workings of some of our manufacturers. And ironically, I worked with 2 of our largest manufacturers on the flooring side. So Fortune 500 company for 3 years, and then a family-owned flooring company for 6. So 2 of our biggest manufacturers that we sell currently. So I have a lot of insight to those 2 companies now, which is great.
Insight, connections to it, and also kind of 2 different operations by the sound of it. You mentioned Fortune 500, and then you mentioned a small family-owned business type of deal. What can you say about the way the 2 operated, and then how you maybe took it and brought it to the middle and kind of made a decision about it?
Really, really cool just to see, one of the largest flooring companies in the world, how they operated, and then the total opposite of that spectrum of a family-owned flooring company, meshing ideas and picking apart each business a little bit to find what I thought would be effective on our end at Wright's.
Man, yeah, I can imagine just 2 similar deals, but 2 very extreme opposites of the same deal.
Absolutely.
So I can imagine you were able to take quite a bit from that. Now, most know that Wright's Furniture has a lengthy history, and it's a family-driven history as well. 150 plus years of being a family-owned and operated business. How the heck do you manage 150 years? And, how do you keep people sane?
Well, I think the biggest thing is just working together towards one common goal. All of the 5 generations of families that have been a part of this, first and foremost, we wouldn't be able to do it without our customer base. Everybody that's given us support over those 5 generations we're just unbelievably blessed at that point. And then again, the common goal of continuing our family legacy, giving back to those communities, and continuing that family business throughout.
Now, is this something for you in terms of, now we're back into it? You mentioned you started your own family. Now you want to get back into your side of the family, but your on the sales side of things right now. So is that also a conscious decision? Was it also for you to get a little better rounded on another end of things? You feel pretty good about the flooring.
Sure.
Was the sales a decision that you kind of made consciously to say, hey, I want to continue to expand on what I can provide to the business?
Absolutely. And kind of just an approach that we've always had as a family. As I mentioned, I started in the warehouse when I was a teenager. Every family member that has worked in the family company started at the bottom. We've done every single job that is required at Wright's Furniture all the way to the top. My dad was the same way. He's the president currently. He's been there for 40 plus years at this point. And he started in the warehouse whenever he was a kid too. So we know the operation side because we've done it. That's the best approach, I think. And that's something that we continue to hope for. Again, becoming a father, that was the biggest decision, getting back to the family company to hopefully instill that family pride, and hopefully my daughter will work at the family company at some point. That's the hope.
Well, so far the track record is pretty good for that. And we still enjoy, Thanksgiving and Christmas together.
Absolutely. Yeah. We still get together. 9 hours a day isn't enough. So we still get together in the holidays.
Okay. Well, I'm glad to hear that. It just, and we were talking before we got started here. You just don't hear about this very often.
Sure.
You really don't. And can I ask you, this is something we didn't ask. Do you feel like there's something different that your family does? Is it maybe still seeing each other on the holidays? Is it maybe still having time outside of the business, outside of the work side of things, and connecting on a more personal level that really helps drive this whole deal?
It could be, for sure. And like I said, it's looking at generations ahead of us, and looking at what they brought, and just being so prideful and hoping to continue that. So again, I think it's more so just a common goal, everyone wanting to continue that family legacy. And then, yeah, I mean, the personal side of things never hurts anything. We care about each other. I mean, we are family. So that's the biggest approach.
Well, it's great to hear for you and your family. And now that you have your own family too, obviously you're very proud of what has been built before you and what could still continue to come. And I think you'll do an all right job of instilling that in your daughter as well.
I hope so.
For you, what can you tell us a little bit about Wright's Furniture and some of the things that are offered? Obviously, it's Wright's Furniture and Flooring, different locations all across Central Illinois. Can you kind of break those down and the services and things that are offered at those individual locations?
Absolutely. So across our 4 locations, Dietrich being our flagship, it's a 40,000 square feet furniture and flooring showroom. We started there 136 years ago, expanded into the Effingham market, and with the Ride at Home and Interiors division. They focus a little bit more on the design side, so window treatments and flooring options there. In 19, we expanded into our Robinson location. They offer furniture and flooring as well, so a lot like our flagship in Dietrich. And then also in 19, we expanded into Taylorville, which is just a furniture showroom currently.
Okay. Now, I don't want to put anything on your plate that, we might not be thinking about yet, but 2019 is a good year for us. We expanded
Very good year,
two new locations, and we're still up and running with these new locations. Has there been any consideration of expanding operations anywhere else, or are you able to maybe digest?
Sure. We're always interested in looking at markets that might be lacking, or in the Taylorville location, as a lot of the local people here know, it was a family company that decided to close the doors, and we ended up purchasing them. So it just worked out really well. It was a market that was going to have an opening, and they approached us to see if we were interested in acquiring them. So we were always open to something like that, depending on the marketplace and some of the competition, and really if it makes sense for distribution on our side too.
Okay. Because I think something that I didn't quite realize is you do try to get a lot of local things to have, like you try to bring in local as much as possible.
Absolutely.
I know that you obviously have to expand and you have to probably pull from more of a national things. What can you tell me about the connection that you have with other retailers or other manufacturers that has helped so much in this history too?
Sure. I mean, we've had a lot of really great representation across all of the manufacturers that we represent. And usually they play a pivotal part in us expanding and having different brands at different locations. But realistically, it is, again, the local communities. If we came into Taylorville and were rejected, it probably doesn't succeed. And we're in a different spot than we are currently at that point. So just a lot of really local support that gets us through.
Local support, and then you kind of give it back too.
Absolutely.
What are some of those ways that you do so?
We actually have an entire division that we call Wright's Cares. We try to focus on each community in its own individual right, basically, where if there's a community event that happens in Taylorville that obviously doesn't happen in Dietrich or Effingham, we try to support it because it matters to Taylorville, and that's our customer base, obviously. Same thing goes with Dietrich and Effingham as well. But just for example, we've got a local event in Dietrich going on at the end of October. So we're kind of partnering with the local community to help bring more people into the community for that event. So that's kind of our focus. Our Rights Cares aspect has always been a big focus for us.
Rights Cares. Okay. Well, fifth generation, 150 plus years of history. I mean, somebody cares in that amount of time. And so I think proving it still even today is a great deal. Well, Devin, let's take ourselves a break. I've got Devin Wright, sales with Wright's Furniture down at the Dietrich location. As mentioned, that flagship location, but 4 of them across Central Illinois, also in Effingham, Robinson, and Taylorville. We'll come back and we'll talk more with Devin here on the WTIM Morning Show.
Your information station. WTIM.
Estates Assisted Living at 705 South Houston. Reserve your slot so that when one is available, you don't have to fight Old Man Winter. Stop by and visit with Administrator Tony Clark or give them a call for an appointment at 824-2222. Taylorville Estates Assisted Living, encouraging independence, enriching lives.
Hello, this is Ben Toberman, your Christian County Crime Stoppers coordinator, bringing you the Crime of the Week. Crime Stoppers is seeking information about thefts from storage units in the Pana area. The first was reported on July 5th and took place at 404 North Garfield, American Way Storage, where hand tools and a banjo was taken from the unit. The second incident was reported on July 29th from 12 North State Street, Stowaway Storage, where unknown suspects took stereo equipment. The third incident was reported on September 4th from American Way Storage, located at 194 U.S. Highway 51. Please contact Crime Stoppers if you have any information of crimes or any other crimes or wanted persons. Crime Stoppers will pay cash rewards of up to $1,000 for information that leads to an arrest, and you will not have to give your name. Crime Stoppers will pay double the normal reward for information that leads to an arrest for the crime of the week. You can contact Crime Stoppers by 217-824-9100 or our website, christiancountycrimestoppers.org, or by texting crimes to 74637 and then your tip. As always, you will remain anonymous.
Carl Krumsick here from Krumsick Monument Company in Taylorville, Illinois. Find out the many services we provide by clicking our icon on the obituaries page of TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
This is Blaine Cornwell with Prairie State Insurance. To learn more about our products and services, click our icon on TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
WTIM.
You're listening to WTIM, your information station, and our morning show brought to you by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville. I'm your host, Grayson Bauman. Joining us in this segment across the way from me, Devin Wright. He is with sales with Wright's Furniture and Flooring down at their Dietrich location. We talked fifth generation in this newest batch. Started at 14, my goodness, flooring side of things and how he kept up with the business while also doing his own thing as well. And a little bit about those 4 locations and what they offer. Let's dive into more of what those are. Services and brands that are offered. You can break it down by location if that is easier for you as well. What can you tell me about those?
Sure. We try to kind of offer the same amount of product at each location. There's no particular brand that we have exclusive really across the board. So on the flooring side, our biggest manufacturer vendor is probably going to be Mohawk Flooring. With them is Carndean Design Flooring. Those are the 2 companies I worked with in the 9 years on the flooring industry. So 2 great companies to work with. They've partnered with us for a long time, and we've done really well with them. On the furniture side, a lot of it goes way back to Lazy Boy. I think has probably been our longest running vendor. My personal preference when it comes to living room furniture for sure, and they've done a really good job with us over the years. Flexsteel Furniture's done great for us as well. The two main locations between Diedrich and Taylorville have a lot of offering when it comes to those two brands.
There was one brand, and I am going to butcher it. It was fairly Italian, if I remember right.
Max Devani
Yes.
is probably the name you're looking for.
Thank you. No,
Yeah.
it is. For some reason, it sounds to me like a Cole Haan or something like
Sure,
that. You know,
yeah,
but
yeah.
that is that kind of, is Lazy Boy, then Flex Steel. Are you kind of trying to hit different categories and also but different price ranges too in your selection? Is that a thing?
A little bit of both, yeah.
Okay.
So when it comes to the products, Lazy Boy, Flex Steel have a lot of similarities. Price points are pretty comparable. And Max Devani is our Italian leather brand. We always want to have an Italian leather offering just because you're getting higher quality leather directly imported from Italy. And that's exactly where Max Devani comes from. Fantastic company to work with, a lot of customization that's involved there. And that's what we're trying to offer is our customer base always wants something different. And Max Devani does a really good job of keeping up with the trends and offering that customization, as do the other two. But the other two are a little bit more mainstream. They're a little bit more traditional, which is a lot of our customer base, which is fantastic to have both kind of traditional and more modern styling as well across the board.
Now, say I come to you and I say, man, Italian leather, I gotta put my bottom on some Italian leather.
Sure.
But I come to the store and I go, man, I don't love that color. Maybe. Do I talk to somebody like yourself and go, hey, how do we customize this deal? Do we customize it in store, send it off to Max Devani, and then all of a sudden, maybe a month later, we have it?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, we try to do our best of showing the different options that are available across each company on the showroom floor. But as I tell every customer, this is a drop in the bucket as to what's available because we can customize everything from leather to fabric. With Max Devani, you're probably looking at a little bit more than a month. Directly imported from Italy, you're probably looking at closer to 4 to 6 months at that point in time. Some people need a little sooner than that, but that's where our large inventory comes into hand. Hopefully they can find something that works and we can deliver it to them in a couple weeks. That's the idea.
Let's talk about getting new inventory. That was something I would like to touch on with you here as well. Obviously, you mentioned keeping up with the trends. Now, Max Devani does a good job. Flex Steel, Lazy Boy probably do the same. But how do you keep up with trends on your end? And how do you make sure that your customer base actually wants the inventory you're bringing in?
Absolutely. We try to play it a little safe on the inventory side of things. We use historical data. We've got a lot of internal operations data sheets that we can look at to see, hey, this product and this color sold really well. So we'll try to have stock of those available regularly. To keep up with the trends, we're actually headed out to furniture market in the Carolinas here in a couple of weeks. I will not be joining on that trip, but we'll have a couple of our furniture design folks going down there to keep up with everything that's coming out for next year. And then in January, we'll actually be headed to the flooring show as well in Las Vegas. My father and I will be going to that. So try to keep up with all the trends in those senses of here's the biggest shows possible. Let's go see what all of these designers, all of these companies are offering for next year.
But that's what it requires to put 150 years of history behind you too, is also to innovate and keep up with those trends and those changes. So, you mentioned that none of this can be done without our customer base. And I just want to give you a few moments before we wrap things up today. Whatever you got to say to the customers, whatever you got to say to those people that support you, the floor is yours.
Sure. No, and truthfully, like I said, it's amazing the amount of support that we've got over the years from our customer base. And if there was anything that I could take away from my grandfather, who ran the Diedrich location on his own for so many years, was the customer matters more than anything else. He would come up with ways to make it work for a customer. I remember at his funeral, actually, them telling stories about him selling his own dining room table for Thanksgiving because a customer needed one and they loved it. So it's stories like that. It's commitment to our customer base. It's something that's always been instilled in us, and hopefully our customers can see that because, again, without them, we're not here. And that's the biggest thing for us is hoping our customers know how much we appreciate their support over the years.
Devin, I got to say, I appreciate your time today and your timeliness and joining us here today as well. So thank you.
I appreciate it, Grayson.
You got it. Devin Wright. He is with Wright's Furniture down at their Dietrich location. Other locations include here in Taylorville, Robinson, and Effingham as well. You're listening to WTIM, our morning show brought to you by People's Bank and Trust and Landmark of Taylorville.
The Big 870 WTIM Assumption Taylor.